Hi all, my name is Davis and welcome back to my channel where we cover all things tech. And today is a day that I've been waiting a long time for because we are finally taking a look at the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus A2VM. The upgrade that we've all been eagerly anticipating. Yep, this is the successor to the Claw 7 A1M that we covered 2 times last year. And today we are not only going to discover why this is quite possibly the ultimate gaming handheld that you can buy, but why this is also perhaps one of the largest generational leaps that I've ever seen in a consumer handheld. Like seriously, you are going to be shook by some of the improvements that this device has over its predecessor. Now, if this is your first time here, and if you want to see more videos like this one, then be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and also comment down below any questions that you might have about this device, and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. I would also like to thank MSI for sponsoring this video, and as usual, I would like to say that MSI hasn't had any editorial input into this video. These are all of my own thoughts, but what they do want is me to share a link where you can pre-order this device and also get a fun pre-order bonus. I'll let you know more about that later on in the video. So as usual, before we talk about what's going on inside this device, let's take a look at the hardware. And let's just say that it is pretty striking. While the Claw 7 looked kind of subtle and a little bit under the radar, this in comparison looks like a stormtrooper handheld. I mean, have a look at this. It is absolutely insane. When I first saw and used this device at IFA last year, it made quite the impression on me, and I would have to say that all of these months later, that impression definitely hasn't faded. So on the front, as we can see, it is absolutely dominated by an absolutely massive 8-inch IPS touchscreen. It's a 1920 by 1200 resolution, so that is significantly more than some competitors. But perhaps more important than that is the fact that it is a variable refresh unit up to 120 frames a second. So it basically feels so silky smooth just about all of the time. It is incredible. It also covers 100% of the sRGB gamut as well, so it's nice and colorful as well, and it goes up to around 500 nits of brightness. Now, my initial thought was that perhaps it would be too large, or I wish that it was OLED, but with this feature set and this vibrancy, I have to be honest, I wouldn't trade it for any of the alternative options. And if you thought that only your eyes were going to be delighted by this device, then just listen to this, because something that the Claw 7 particularly excelled in, especially when compared to the competition, were the speakers. And I would like to apologize for my neighbors, because I practically never used my headphones with that device because the speakers were so loud and full. And this might actually be even better. We've got two 2-watt drivers over here, and it honestly sounds pretty tremendous. So at this point, both your eyes and your ears are quite pleased. And what else will be pleased are your hands, because the ergonomics honestly are quite tremendous. Your hands will love to hold the Claw 8, as well it is a bit on the heavier side at 796 grams, as it is carrying one of the largest batteries in a handheld at 80 watt hours. The ergonomics are absolutely brilliant. It's just really comfortable to hold for long play sessions. The build quality as well is really good. I can't get it to creak no matter how hard I try to bend it. And also on that note of sensory touch, the vibration motor is also pretty good as well. It's nice and sharp and precise. Another point to mention about the hardware as well is the fact that the analog sticks and both trigger buttons as well are Hall effect, which means that not only are they tremendously precise and tactile, but they also won't suffer from drifting, or at least the analog sticks won't, because I don't think I've ever heard about trigger buttons drifting, but if you have, please inform me about your misfortune. And also, as we can see, we do have the lovely RGB lights around the analog sticks. So yeah, the claw feels pretty fantastic in the hand, but what is also pretty great with the design is the fact that there is not only one, but we got two Thunderbolt 4 ports on the top. And that means that when you are charging the device with one of them, and you will have the other one free for accessories. Now this is especially useful if you want to use this dock accessory over here, which sort of turns your claw into a desktop PC, which is something that I actually did do with the original claw, and I made a video about that. So as you can see, this is the dock. You've got lots of ports on the back, and if I want to plug the thing in, it sits in like so, and we put this cable in the top. And then you can add accessories like a screen and keyboard and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, I think that this would make quite a tremendous little mini desktop PC. So while it's impossible to deny that the Claw 8 is indeed a little bit of a beast, the build quality, the massive beautiful display and fabulous speakers really do make up for the heft. But now let's get to the interesting bit. What could possibly be inside this beast? Well, powering the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus is the brand new Intel Core Ultra 7 258V processor with Arc 140V graphics and a whopping 32 gigabytes of RAM. That is more than most laptops these days. We've also got 1 terabyte of storage, and of course that is expandable with micro SD on the top. So what is really interesting with the chip inside of the Claw is that not only does it have 4 performance cores that can boost up to 4.8 GHz, or that the GPU now has 8 cores, but since it is a Intel Core Ultra Series 2 chip, it is also kind of a Copilot PC, and that means that if you are going to use it as a mini desktop, you are going to have access to Microsoft Copilot, unlike most of the competitors, and also with 47 TOPS coming from its NPU, you can use AI features in, let's say, Adobe Lightroom and Premiere Pro quite efficiently. Okay, so we know that benchmarks are benchmarks and they don't always reflect real-life workflows properly, but what is interesting to note that when you are playing games like Metro 2033 at 17 watts of TDP, you do get significantly better performance than the main competitor to this. What is also interesting is that according to this particular test, the chip excels especially at lower wattages. For example, the Claw with the Intel chip performs better at 17 watts than the competitor did at 30 watts. And that is really, really impressive to hear. And with a new power efficient chip, tools like Intel's XeSS, which uses AI to generate additional frames. So it's like getting additional frames per second for nothing. And then when combined with the largest battery in class at 80 watt hours, battery life on this thing is pretty amazing. When you are playing lightweight games at 17 TDP, you can regularly get over 4 hours of battery life, and even at the most demanding of games at the full 30 TDP, you are looking at closer to 2.5 hours, and you can use AI obviously to intelligently switch between power profiles too. So basically what we are saying here is that the battery life is among or better than the best in class. So let's see if any of MSI's claims are true by playing some games. So to navigate to games, obviously we don't have to go through the Windows interface, although you can if you really want to. We have access to the MSI Center M, which makes everything really easy to use. So as we can see, we've got our installed games like so. We can also scroll up here to go between services, but for now I've only got Steam games. We've also got buttons like this one over here, and that can take you to a list of quick action items. And obviously we've got this little section as well, where we can change the color of our lights. Let's go with rainbow. Okay, so let's start with playing F124. Now, I really want to play this game because it utilizes Intel's XeSS, so we really should be getting amazing frame rates on this, despite it being quite a demanding AAA title. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is go into the F1 World mode. So we can do something easy, hopefully. So let's do Spa, shall we? And go from there. Do we want to be Red Bull? So this is 2024. Red Bull was still good. Mercedes, I want to be Haas. No, let's do Red Bull. Max Verstappen. All right, so that's off to a smashing start, I would say. Okay, careful. I'll brake a bit early. Bit wide. On the outside of Norris, I think that was. As we can see, the frame rate is what? Around 80 frames a second. And this is medium settings, native resolution, on a AAA title. This feels fantastic. The rumble is really nice as well. So as we can see, F124 with the XESS AI acceleration does perform remarkably well, around 80 frames a second. So let's try another game. Okay, so we don't always play F1 games, obviously. So something else that I like to play are Civilization games. So this is the latest one, quite controversial, Civilization 7. So let's see how it plays. Let's pick a character. We are picking Ada Lovelace of Great England land. And we are going to start at the Antiquity Age. But which civilization should Ada begin as? Should she be Roman or Mayan or random? I think random's my favorite civilization of all time. Let's go with that. And let's do an epic game, continents plus, standard map size. Is standard the largest one? I haven't played the new Civ clearly. And let's confirm. Okay, so now we are in the game, and as we can see, it is very different to the old civilizations that I've played in the past, but at the same time not. So let's just settle here to be quick, shall we? Yeah, we're just gonna settle. Oh, that is very smooth. Do you see that action? That's around 120 frames a second, we can see. So it's an 8-inch display, which means that the touchscreen controls actually do work rather well. Let's explore up that way. Oh, that was a pretty animation. Let's do a granary. How does this work in this new game? Do we just pick one of these? Okay, let's go with that one. Okay, so while I am very confused about this new Civilization game, I can definitely see myself learning to play on the Claw because I'm getting 120 frames a second. It's very smooth, the screen is very spacious, and using the touchscreen as well does work rather nicely. Definitely a lot better performance than you would get on an iPad, let's say. Okay, so we've played Civ, what else should we play? Okay, let's play another racing game, and this is quite a popular one. So this is a Forza Horizon 4. Nope, I haven't bought 5 yet, so this will have to do. But I'm running at native resolution, so that's 1200p, and I'm playing at high variable settings. And just driving my Focus RS around feels very responsive indeed. And as we can see with the counter on the top, getting roughly 80 frames a second in this quite busy environment. So that's pretty good indeed. Oh. It's the Claw 8. So my brother's asking how on earth I'm getting close to 90 frames a second now on a handheld playing Forza at high settings. Well, we're playing on the Claw 8, aren't we? It's simply amazing. Look at that. How do I change views? Oh, there. Okay, so the interior of my Mark II Focus, not the prettiest thing in the world, but we're still getting almost 80, oh sorry, Mark III. It's a Mark III Focus, not the prettiest interior either, but it is very, very pretty. The graphics are indeed. That is Forza Horizon 4. It plays very, very well indeed. I'm amazed. Okay, so this game is Metaphor Refantasio, and basically it's a game that I've always wanted to play, but just haven't had the time yet to do so. And from my understanding, it's not very well optimized. On some other portable systems, you get roughly 30 frames a second. Okay, so I've basically put it in 1080p resolution, high settings. Let's see what sort of performance we can get. So I am running around in this environment, and we are getting close to 60 frames a second. just going down to 48, 50 frames a second, and seeing that this is a not very well optimized game on a handheld at high settings, I think that sounds pretty impressive to me. I mean, just running around like so, getting roughly 50 frames a second. This is a lot better in experience than I would have imagined for a handheld. But I guess that is just the Claw. So now we are going to go for the ultimate challenge. This is a game that absolutely did not work on my other portable console. I was trying to play it at 576p at like the lowest of low settings, and it could still only get around 20 frames a second, so completely unplayable. Let's see how the Claw fares with Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, one of the worst optimized games of all time. Now, I was really looking forward to the release of this game about 6 months ago, but I think we'll soon discover that perhaps it wasn't worth the years and years of hype. So I've set it at native resolution, so that's 1200p, and we've got it on low settings. So this is my apartment in my hotel thing. Let's exit that. Okay, so let's see what sort of settings we've got. So we've got on 1200 resolution. FSR, let's put it on balanced. Let's apply that. And let's put graphics on, let's just put it on low and see how we do. Remember, this is basically unplayable at 576p on my other device. And if I am to drive my Alpine around, we've got a frame rate of 30 frames a second. Yes, you heard right, 30 frames a second. Now that doesn't sound impressive, but for this game, it really is. Like, we've seen people with proper desktop computers really struggle to play this at any reasonable rate. Actually, I was trying to play this on my PlayStation 5, and it was so stuttery, even in performance mode, that I couldn't deal with it. But as we can see, this Claw plays at a nice stable 30 frames a second. And the interior cam as well. We are dropping into the high 20s, but it's still just about playable. Yeah, I think while these driving physics might be slightly better, I don't think that Forza Horizon has anything to worry about from Test Drive Unlimited. But the MSI Claw plays it, so that's very impressive, I suppose. So in conclusion, the MSI Claw 8, yes, it's big, and yes, it's $17.99 Australian dollars, which is not an insignificant amount of money, but having used this Claw now, it really stands above the competition. So not only is this the most powerful gaming handheld that I've tested, but it's also got great battery life. Not only does it have a pretty good launcher interface, but being Windows and Intel based, it's also compatible with an extremely wide range of games, including those with anti-cheat. And while it is heavy, it is an absolutely stunning design and has great ergonomics. So I'd say that it's pretty difficult to deny that if money were no object, this is the best PC gaming handheld that you can buy. Now, if you want to get your hands on a Claw 8, with the link below, you can redeem a copy of Diablo 4 with the new Vessel of Hatred expansion until the 31st of March 2025. That is an $89.99 value. Now, thank you MSI for their love and support in making this video happen. Obviously, they did not have any editorial influence in my opinion of this device. It really is that good. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and subscribe. Feel free to comment down below if you've got any questions. And until next time, I hope that you are having an amazing day, and toodaloo.